to Elizabeth Shaw. Welcome to the show, or AKA Shaw Snare. How you doing?
Good start. I'm doing well. Thanks so much. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
I've been seeing you a lot on my social feeds. You're a real solid presence now. So nice to see you.
You get me live in person now instead of the 30-second to 3-minute little TikToks.
I mean, welcome to the show, Elizabeth Shawnee. And it's the first time I've actually spoke to you. Now, and obviously I know you're kind of professional side drummer, pipe band drummer. But what I was going to ask you is the first thing straight off the traps is you've got like 4,000 followers, right?
Yeah.
Right, which is quite a big deal because like we've got about 10, right? So
you could do some work. You might want to hire somebody for social media. It might support you a little bit more.
Well, okay, but is that an offer? Do you do that thing as a
no,
recycling?
Absolutely not.
I think that means I'm sacked from my.
Because we keep asking ourselves, what do we need to do? Do we need to strip off, or do we need to do you know what I mean? What exactly are we going to do? Because it's just like, and then we watch other people and go, look at them racing ahead. It's honestly at the start of a race and just going, look at them. They've just popped up. Look at them now. So what I was going to ask you is this, right? It's kind of twofold, right? So you do like, for the way I know you now is because you're on the internet and you're doing like drum lessons and teaching people and stuff like that, right? Is there a difference between, wait for this word I've come up with, cyber teaching, right? Cyber teaching, right?
He means online lessons. Yeah.
And I mean online lessons, right? But then see if you think of the acronym of that, it would be OLL. So OLL. And I'm like, that sounds like LOL. LOL.
No,
it doesn't matter. The point is, right, is what's the difference between fixating and preparing an online lesson, right? And how do you get this sort of kind of teacher reward feedback from that versus obviously, I believe you obviously do like proper, like I'm saying proper teaching, but you know what I mean, like in face, in real time teaching with people. Mm-hmm. What's the difference? How do you get what's the big difference between the two?
It goes back to just how I actually started teaching online to begin with, and to give you an idea of what my experience was, because I was actually a student that took lessons online to begin with. So I took lessons actually with Reed Maxwell back in the day. Like I'm super old. But my first experience with like not an in-person lesson was with Reed Maxwell over the phone. So I would literally call him on the phone, long distance from Calgary to Vancouver. I'd put the phone down and I would play over the phone to him.
No
and he would just
way.
Listen and give me feedback that way. And it was intense. It was intense. And every now and again, so I was playing with Robert Malcolm Memorial at the time as well. So I would fly there for band practices, and I would sometimes take a lesson with him when I was there. So I got a little bit of that in-person experience, but a lot of the times it was just over the phone. And I thought, if Reed can do that, like surely that's something I can do eventually. And then we actually upgraded to Skype at some point. So then I ended up taking lessons with him over Skype. And
I've never heard of someone doing a drum lesson over the phone, like just
so
audio.
You want to talk? So that's just it. You want to talk about time changes, like right? Because you guys obviously we've had to set this up for specific times to accommodate time zones.
Yeah.
Well, he would fly to New Zealand for the championships, and I would still call him. So I would still be phoning long distance for him to do a lesson in New Zealand as well.
Wait. Is your mum and dad like billionaires or something? Like that?
I mean, middle class, but yeah.
There is no excuse for people who not practicing.
I was going to say, right, it's not so bad now, right, but I could only imagine one of my daughters, right, was like that. Who's that you're phoning? And they're like, oh, I'm phoning somebody in California. And then I walk back in, they've got the phone on like the table, and they're not even speaking. What?
No. It was, and like my parents were very, very supportive for me for drumming. Like they're the ones that really did support me in pushing myself to go and play in a bigger band and do the travel and all those things. So they knew. Don't worry. My dad was the one that put me in the office with the phone every week, Wednesday or Thursday night, I think. So,
Elizabeth, are we saying you grew up in Calgary?
Yes. So
Canada.
I was gonna say backtrack. So yeah, I'm originally from Calgary, Alberta. I'm born and raised. My whole family is still there as well. But I moved over to England in 2020, actually. So my husband is from Carlisle, which is where I'm based right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Um, but I'll bring us back to this question that you asked, Andy, because just teaching online.
Don't worry about it. Listen, this is how the show works. It's a meandering. You can next talk about like vases and glassware. We'll entertain that as well. That's the way it works.
No, if you ever take a lesson with me, sometimes this can happen. My brain has several streams of thoughts, and I'll just kind of go in different directions. But I always try to bring it back to where we were. So
this is the drummer's way, isn't it?
Exactly. There's just so much to think about and so much to talk about. So when I started taking lessons from Reed through Skype, that's when I thought, you know what, if he's doing it, I could probably do that as well. Yeah. And my first student was actually my uncle, who lives basically in BC, and he's a piper but was looking to take snare drum lessons. And so I was like, well, we'll just do Skype with you. So I was teaching in person and online, and I found there really wasn't that much of a difference, minus just that physical experience with that person. So obviously, if there was any adjustments, like physical adjustments I needed to make to their technique, things like that, it just meant that I had to really explain it or find different ways to explain it. And that's how I kind of carry into that teaching now as well, is I'm a, throw everything at the wall until it sticks kind of person. Yeah. So making those adjustments, over explaining, or videos, pictures, just any kind of resources, just digitally instead. I've had a few students where I've explained 1 or 2 points, and you can see the light bulb go off, and all of a sudden they're like, this is amazing. This has changed the way that I drum. And these are people who've maybe been drumming for 20, 30 years as well, and they're coming back to it, and they go, like, just a whole totally different experience. But it does have its drawbacks, because sometimes there are times where I'll sit here and I'll really be struggling digitally with that student. How do I actually explain this, or how do I play it over top? How, like, especially beginners. It's
almost like,
wait. Oh, sorry, you go.
I was just going to say,
one at a time, please.
I was going to say, I've observed it in my very short tenure of teaching. You've got to explain the same thing in hundreds of different ways for many different people. And like you said, until it clicks.
Yeah.
So what about the feedback though? So where's the teacher gratification from it? So you know what I mean? So see how if you're teaching someone behind the table, right, and you're like, do this, do that, and that, you can get, like the body language and the words that are unsaid from the pupil. That's like you can receive that they're grateful, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Is the cyber teaching? I'm going to use this word. This is coming in, right? Is the cyber, like the robot taking over the world? Is the cyber teaching, right? Is that the likes? Is that the fellowship? Is that where you get the kind of gratification for what you're explaining?
No,
does that make sense?
Yeah, the gratification comes from the physical and emotional responses online. So that's the thing, is you're speaking about exactly like that that physical reaction, those body language signals that you would read in person, because of the technologies that we have today. Especially think back to, like I say, probably 2011, 2012, when I first kind of started teaching online, to now. Like, think of what programs are available, like internet, things like that, right? The fact that, again, we're able to have these kinds of conversations, and the technology, it's almost like you're in the room. I do get that same kind of gratification, and I'm really good at reading micro expressions, essentially, because I've had to just focus so much on people's faces over these. Exactly, those little bits and pieces. But that's what
little giveaways,
Yeah, and it can be like a little smile. It can be the head nods, and I'm over expressive for that reason too, so that students know if we're in a lesson and they're playing and they're like, "Well, I'm not sure. I'm sitting here going like this, or I'm doing this."
Can I?
I'm making faces. Yeah.
I want to bring up something that I've experienced with students. Right, is when you say something, you explain a concept or whatever it is. Say, just counting to 4, right? And you go, okay, that's what we do, and we count the spaces in between, right? And then you go, everyone good with that? And you just get a room of just blank, and there's no nodding. And I'm like, is that me?
That's
I just
generally
push
you
them.
then, Jason. That's
Yeah.
a you thing. Right, because if you take a group of people, right, and nobody gets it, then that's the instructor.
I'm like, did
If
you
you
guys
take
get
a
that
room
as
of people,
well?
no, that's a barometer check. If the room doesn't get it, you've done something right. If one person gets it, then you know that you're doing something right. Barometer check.
Yeah. I'll usually, I'm really bad. I tend to call the students out. I'm like, give me a head nod. Like, I'll just tell them, like,
Yeah.
are we good?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah,
no.
yeah.
And just creating that space as well to make sure that if they aren't good, essentially, if they don't understand,
Yeah,
that
Yeah,
they
yeah.
are really vocal about it as well. So
Yes.
I think that's what's really important as well about being online is just making that safe space for that student so that they can ask any question and they aren't afraid to ask the silly ones. And
Yes.
if they are really struggling, that they do stop and go, I'm just not getting it. I'm actually just not getting it. And whether it's I need to change my teaching style or my approach, or sometimes it is just like, okay, let's put this aside for today because I can tell we're getting frustrated over it. We'll approach something else and like come back to it next week, next lesson, or even just give it a day to think about. Maybe it's a follow-up video, some
Yes.
kind of other resource that they can get to support them on that learning, essentially.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever watched a program on Netflix called DCC. It's to do with the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, right? And you're going to be
I don't
like,
have
well,
I don't have Netflix, so
right, listen,
Good.
trust me, everybody should watch this program because, right, it's cutthroat, ruthless, right, by
yeah.
the people that are managing the team. And this brings me to my point. So, how do you actually let people down in the nicest possible way? So, like for instance, if I'm trying to obviously push the boundary and tell you I want to play Highland Wedding, right, aka say Jim's version, right, and I'm kind of rubbish. I'm a Timu version, right? How do you how do you manage the Timu drummer versus the top grade drummer? So I'm a wee guy and I'm like, I want to learn that. This is what I want you to teach me. Teach me. I think I should know this. Or the dangerous bit, a little bit of knowledge is dangerous, where someone gets to a level where actually 3/4, 4/4, 6/8 kind of marches, like generic marches, and then they're like, I seen this thing on the internet, and I think I should be playing that, and I think you're holding me back as an
Ooh.
instructor. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you ever get any of that? So they're in their mind, they're playing like Stevie Crichton, right? But in reality, they're playing like Andy Laird, and you're like, whoa, stop. Just stop yourself right there. Check 1, 2. Right, let's just apply the safety catch. How do you manage expectation like that? Because there must be guys. Because I've come across people and I think they really think they're a lot better than what they are, and they don't have
Yeah.
a concept of. Do you know what I mean? They don't seem to be able to filter, and you're actually showing them people like Stevie Crichton, etc., and going, look, this guy's a really good drummer. He's deft and all, and then this guy's not, and you're going,
Yeah.
right, you're not. So how do you manage that expectation? How do you pour the water on the coals a wee bit?
It's just being in that serious conversation, like just letting them know it's being truthful. I think that's what's really
Yeah.
important is you don't really want to pump people's tires too much. You want to find that happy balance, happy medium
Yeah.
balance between giving them the support that they need to push themselves when you see that that they have that ability or they have that potential. But it's when you exactly that you have somebody who's maybe trying to reach too far for the stars, and you're like, okay, hang on, we got to get to the moon first, and then we'll
Strip
get
it
to
back.
Mars, and
Yeah.
then and I
Yeah.
think it's just making them make it very clear to them where they're at, what music level they're playing at, and where they're headed. And then what I would just explain is, okay, well, how can we? Because I'm still always that person that's like, well, let's try and get you there anyways, no matter what your potential looks like. It may take you 3 months, it may take you 3 years, it may take you 30 years to be able to play that drum score, right? But how do we actually break it down and get you to that level? So instead of looking directly at, for example, Highland Wedding Jim score, why don't we look at like a pared down version of it? Maybe I'll pull maybe Reed Maxwell's score and I'll make some adjustments to it. And we play
Yeah.
a score that's just a lower level. So you still give them that gratification of playing that pipe tune, of learning that drum score,
Getting
of
it done,
improving
yeah.
in some capacity. And it's just creating those stepping stones. And then the way that I teach is I actually, especially when it comes to drum scores, is I look at the whole score and I start picking out bits and pieces that are going to be complicated for that student. And then I make that into an exercise.
Yeah.
right? So then that way, when they do start to look at that drum score, they go, oh, I already know that bit because I've seen it before. Or maybe it's an ending phrase. Well, this ending phrase is really similar. If you look back at like Paul Turner's drum scores, I've got loads of those from the 90s for
Yeah.
some reason. Like
Yeah.
all the ending phrases for the marches are the same. So I'm
Right.
like,
Yeah.
okay, well, if you learn
Learn
that
that.
ending phrase,
Yeah.
you're done. You're good. So so I think it's just creating that scalable approach to get them there.
Yeah.
Now, the flip side of that, you said, what about somebody who's kind of saying, well, you're not what I need anymore, or you're maybe not, you're not
Yeah.
supporting me in the way that I want you to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually just feedback that I'll take on as well,
Yeah.
because I'm like, well, clearly this situation isn't working, or this, our personalities or whatever it is isn't working. I'll take it as feedback to a certain extent, because at the end of the day as well, sometimes people just don't get along,
Yeah.
and that's okay too.
Yeah. Listen, I go with the latter, Elizabeth. I go with the latter.
Yeah.
See this? See this?
Drop them, it's fine.
I'll take it as feedback and I'll write it down. I'm like, yeah, I'll take it as feedback. Yeah, yeah. Just that. Thanks, bye. There's the feedback for you, pal. Cheerio. There's the door. Don't come back.
So this is why you don't have 4,000 followers.
Oh!
Hey,
I told
you know
you.
what?
I told you.
You're right, Elizabeth. But I'm in the camp of tough love. I just take it. I'm like, I would rather have my diehards. I'd rather have the diehards.
You know what? I think it could be generational as well. Like, I think like, not necessarily age from you guys as well, but just thinking like I've worked with a lot of younger people,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
early 20s. I was a team lead on a previous job before, and I'm like, it's where I can really support people and support their development. So
Yeah.
that's also my approach. Is it's not just about drumming, it's also about how can I support you as a person. I have
Grow.
quite a few
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have
Well,
quite a few
look,
people who talk to me about like nerves, who talk about confidence in playing and
Yeah.
confidence to ask questions
yeah.
to other drummers as well. So
Yeah.
The whole life
Because
skill of it.
I was
Yeah.
going to say, confidence, good segue here, right? Solos, you were up at the solos in Livingston, weren't you, a couple of weeks ago?
yeah,
Is that right? Right. And
yeah,
I can't remember what I was doing that day. Trust me, or else I would have been there, right? I would have definitely been there. However, I never made it. But you were in the prize. You were in the kind of top 10, weren't you? What was your?
I
what was
was,
your
yeah.
score? What'd
I
you get?
ended up seventh.
I said that. I said that to Jason. I said I think she pulled the seventh there. But listen,
That's huge.
that's
huge.
huge. I mean, like, listen, I would be happy
Congratulations.
on the program sheet. See if they actually let me sneak in.
Yeah.
I've said that one year at the Worlds, I want to kind of wait and do like a kind of guerrilla move. See, once like I don't know, Stevie Shedden comes off, I'm just going to run on with my drum.
Get a
And I'm
photo.
like, and,
Yeah.
and quickly do it. Just get a wee 40, and then tell everybody I competed that day. I made
Yeah.
the cut.
Frame it. Put it in the pool room.
Exactly. As long as it's a picture proof, that's all that matters.
That's how sad my life is. But the bottom line is so let's talk about that, right? So
Yeah.
seventh, so I think that's a mega big deal, right? And how do you kind of prepare for that? What did you play? What was your piece? What did you play that day?
So I played my second set, which was Balmoral Highlanders, Dora
Mhm.
McLeod, and John McKechnie.
All right, okay,
Yeah,
right.
pretty
By the way,
solid set.
Dora-
And the Balmoral drum score was actually Drew Duthert's that I played with
Right.
when I played with them in the Frasers. I've just continued to play that score.
Yeah.
Dora's was my own, and then John McKechnie was Reed Maxwell's.
Yes.
Yep.
I listened to
Sounds-
that the other day, actually.
Sounds superb, honestly. What I would say is how, and this might be a bit of a kind of trope question kind of thing, but obviously there isn't a lot of females. There are fantastic female drummers, right? And actually, you're the first female on the show. I would hope that we're going to end up with more. I don't know why, but we will end up with more. But what I mean is at the solos today, that in Instructor, Rachel Tom's playing today, right? And she's another phenomenal drummer. And the thing is that there are top level female side drummers, pipe band drummers. There isn't a great amount. So what I mean is as a female, have you ever felt that it was a kind of difficult world, or did you think it's all about the drum, so it's all about what you're playing, nobody's really caring? Or did you ever feel that it was a kind of a male environment, or did you feel it doesn't really matter because the music's, everybody's focused on that, not the gender?
Yeah. I think growing up, I didn't see it in any gender divide whatsoever, even though it was
Yep.
still kind of the same ratio, a couple of girls to about 5 to 6 males in a drum corps.
Yep.
But I think growing up was just a bit different because it was still very focused on the music, the playing, like the ability. And I think for myself, I was really lucky that I excelled so quickly at snare drumming as well that like I was winning everything in Alberta, and then I would go to BC and I would be, if not winning, I'd be placing top three in most of the contests there. And I traveled to like the Agnew Harrison just happened last weekend or the weekend before. Like I played at that contest a few times, and exactly that. I'd be the only female playing, but I would just go, well, it doesn't matter because I just want to show up and I want to win. That's what I'm here for, is to just show what I can do. So, I think when it shifted was probably when I started playing in the higher grades, and I started playing in grade ones, and I and a grade two band, and that's when I started hearing a lot more comments about like being a woman, or because I was in my early 20s, and I think that's when people started saying things to me like, oh, like this person would never let a female join the drum corps, like you're the first woman to join this drum corps, or
strong.
yeah, or even things of like, well, I want to be a drum sergeant. That's my overall goal, is to actually be a drum corps. And I've had a lot of people who were kind of like, well, you probably won't as long as there's a male pipe major. I'm like, oh, because there's this weird thing of like, you want to be best friends with the leadership, right? Obviously you look at what's familiar and what you relate to, and the easiest thing is to rely on his gender. So I think that's starting to creep up a lot more. And it's something I keep top of mind as well, because with teaching, I teach a lot of students, and I tend to obviously attract a lot of girls and a lot of female drummers as well. So I would say right now my students, it's probably about 50-50 male female, and I think a lot of the younger students that I have, I look at them and I've taught some girls from 10 to 16, 17, but it's that, you might experience this with male students as well, but you hit that age and they all of a sudden going to university, or things have changed in my life and I just stop drumming, right? That kind of stuff does happen. But I think that sometimes women have that next level as well, of like, if you start a family and, other priorities do come into play as well. But I do think that it's funny because in preparation for this competition that I did well at, I'm still so proud of myself for it.
Well done,
so you should be.
I would honestly, I would be posting every day on Instagram that I got seven. Like consistently, folk would be like, right, he needs to stop now. I'd be like, no, I don't. Actually.
No. It's okay. So here's the thing, though, is I've always wanted to play at the World Solo Championships. Unfortunately, like I wouldn't say I made the mistake, but it was just my parents and I didn't really understand how drumming worked in Scotland, how the competitions worked in Scotland. So I missed out on being able to play in any of the juvenile grades at the World Solos. Right. So by the time I was kind of at that level to play, I'd already turned 18. So I've always had it in my head, like I want to go. Well, the big goal is I want to win the World Solo Drumming Championships.
Why not?
We'll put it out there.
Why not?
But I would like to play there first. That was always the thing. Get there first.
Yeah.
And when they brought out the new championship pre-qualifier, I was like, well, there goes my chance to be able to just step in on the day and play. Right. Which is what I'd always kind of thought. I'll just go and do that, and then I'll have played, and that's me done. So over the last few years, I kind of went, okay, I need to take this. Now that I'm here in the UK, close to Scotland, able to play at these contests, I have to take this a little bit more. I have to take it a bit more seriously. And I thought last year I'll play at a couple of the contests, and I played at my first championship last year, and I got dead last. And I thought, great.
That's actually a positive.
but listen, this is the thing, right? It's like the armchair general brigade out there, right? So everybody, everybody's got an opinion, as you know, because obviously, social media. So everybody's got an opinion. But the thing is see if you're doing your thing, right? The matter, this is my take on it, right? Right. One, we're not curing cancer, right?
Yes.
We're only playing in pipe bands, right? That's one thing everybody needs to get a grip of, right? It's only pipe bands. I know people make a living at it, and I know it's important to them. I get that, but it's not curing cancer. So that's rule number one. Rule number two is listen, somebody goes up to their thing. I think side drumming, right, pipe band side drumming, is so subjective.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So it is truly like art. I mean, it's Dada versus Renaissance, right? So at the end of the day, I know for a fact there's calls that I listen to And I'll say to people, yeah, but I just don't get it.
Mm.
Now, I'm not saying they're bad. They're far from bad, right? I'm talking about grade 1 drum corps, right? Or grade 2 drum corps. These are all accomplished and very good individuals as a corps coming together and playing a piece. However, for whatever reason, right, it might not push my button versus someone else who does. And it's as simple as that. It's just at that moment, at that time, you think, I'm really getting that. I'm really feeling it. And because I know that the thing of, people saying playing the silence and certain scores where there's maybe less is more.
Mm-hmm.
And then other scores where people are putting in quite a lot and trying to push boundaries and trying to make the drummers really work hard. And then, so their opinion is, yeah, I can play what you play, but I know that you couldn't play what I play because it's so technical, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they're losing the music in it a wee bit, as in the musicality, but I get both camps. And sometimes I go, yeah, I really am in awe of the technicality, but I understand why people have picked that band or that core. So, you know what I mean?
It's interesting that you say that, because I think that's the experience I just had with this last contest. And I played the contest before. I think I got like 11th out of the 15 or whatever on the weekend before as well. So not last, which is always positive.
Getting better each time, like
each time is all that matters.
Yep.
But I had a chance to, I watched a bunch of the competitors last year at the one in August, that one that's always the week before the Worlds. And I watched a bunch of players at this contest again this year, and I thought, the drum scores that I'm playing, they're all from the early 2000s, mid 2010s. And if you look at what's being written now, even though it's only been 10 to 15 years, exactly that, the scores have changed.
Yeah,
and there is this development in it. And, you can't show up and play what would have been a band drum score from 2012, 2015, because it doesn't have the complexity that maybe some of those judges are looking for. And I think it is subjective, exactly as you said. It really depends on who's listening and how they're listening to you as well. So I think for me, my approach for the next year is to actually take a look at my drum scores and just start writing a lot more of my own stuff as well. And just compare it to what's being played now and see if there's anything unique that I can do, anything that still sticks to my style. I don't want to copy the people who are at the top, because obviously they're training other people. So there's going to be a bunch of little Karen McQuillans coming up over the next 10 years, right? I don't want to be another little Karen McQuillan. I want to be Elizabeth Shaw and bring a different approach in some capacity. But I definitely think that my scores feel a little bit dated. So they're good. I know that I can play them well. I know I can show up and I can. Yeah, exactly. But there's definitely, in order to kind of crack that top 6, something else needs to change. I need to get with the times a little bit.
And innovate a little bit of innovation.
Yeah, exactly.
See, and a weird sort of way, I'm not questioning that. I'm questioning this, right? So, I mean, I still watch things for Eric Ward, and I'm in all Eric Ward stuff, right? A very technical drummer, and I totally get what you're saying. Dated, and if you played Eric Ward stuff now on the solos, people will be like, it's a bit Andy Laird, isn't it? It's a bit 1980s or something like that, right? But what I mean is that it's still standalone stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's and even that, going back, Fraser, Simon Fraser, and then short stuff from back then. It is dated. And I totally get that, but it's still amazing. And I get what you're saying. You wouldn't play it as a solo stuff, but I still think there's a rich standard, and it's not an easy standard to achieve. So I don't think there's any. I don't think I wouldn't be dismissive of MD playing it. That's what I mean. I can see the strength in it, and then and to an extent the newer stuff. I mean, sometimes you've got to ask yourself, it's only subjective. It's only trying to pop things to make things go, to make people go, oh, I like what they done there, etc., etc. So I'm not going to use the word gimmick, right? Because that's the wrong word to use, right? Because that doesn't fit the frame of what I'm talking about. So I understand that you need to change, you need to evolve, and you need to move things. You can't just keep playing Lord Alexander Kennedy. the way it was
Yeah.
played in 1990 or something like that, right? That doesn't work.
But
But
what you're saying is you need something that stands out. So when you are
yeah,
listening to 15
yeah,
MSRs, right? You get to
100%.
person 4 or 5, it's like, okay, am I going to hear another Highland Wedding? Like, am I going to
Yeah.
hear another like,
Maggie
you're
Cameron.
hearing the same thing over and over. So what is it that's going to break you out of that mold? And I think I I I think I played well at that contest. I played well enough for the day that I had. Like I've been having some other things coming up and just been super busy in my life. So when I walked out of that, I was like, great, that was the best performance I could have had that day. It wasn't my
Yeah,
best overall, but
Yeah.
that was the feeling that I
yeah,
needed coming out of it, which is why I think I was so lucky essentially to get a seventh and get a pre-qualifier. But I think what's also kind of sitting with me in prep for that contest and prior to it was actually my playing ability.
yeah,
So I've gotten this comment a couple of times over the last few years, and it's that I play too quiet. I'm too timid. And
Oh.
so when you compare the way that I play to someone like Stephen Shedden or
yeah,
Stephen Crichton, somebody who's like a
yeah,
really loud, big lead drummer,
yeah, they
I'm
are.
quite quiet. My range doesn't look nearly as high as theirs. So that's what I've been focusing on over the last year. And I know I have so much more work to do towards that, but that's where I can also use that as my strength to stand out. Is like I can play some of that lower stuff. I can play quite
Hmm.
cleanly closer to the drum to the point that sometimes I get the comment saying, "We can't hear you." And I'm like,
Yeah.
I know I'm playing it clean. You just actually can't hear because it's so
Yeah.
close to the drum, which is fine. I get it. I'll bring it up. So,
But who are you wearing? As in, I don't mean Givenchy. I mean, which which drum are you wearing for the solo? What are you playing?
and Andante. So I play with
Okay,
the Royal Borough of Vannon, so I just play that drum.
right, okay. Because I was going to say, I really rate them for indoors.
Hmm.
The Andante, it's really, really good in the indoor kind of arena. Again, it's subjective, you know what I mean? Somebody might prefer this, prefer that, and
Well,
I get it.
and that's just it. I think this contest also really supported my playing because it was in a small room. It was in a library. I was like
Yeah.
within touching distance of the judges versus the competition the weekend before was this huge auditorium where you really are just going to
Uh,
get lost in that projection,
yeah,
especially if you are playing like myself a little bit more on the lower end. So playing an Andante, playing in a big auditorium, not playing some of that stuff out as much as I should be, absolutely the judges are going to go, I can't, like I actually just am not hearing what you're playing, and they're not gonna be as impressed as somebody who's literally
beside
right
you
here.
and
Yeah,
can see what you're doing. Can I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
exactly,
get that, hundred
exactly.
percent, 100%.
So
Hey, I was you've mentioned this a couple of times where you said I've been lucky, right? But how much hard work is involved for yourself, and then also do you actually sort of ask for or expect from your students?
oh man, that's a tough
What
one.
you ask for or expect from your students is not always what you get, right? And do
It's
you
true.
find that with students you have to push the drive a bit more, or do you find that they come to you like really driven and
most of them
want to
come to
get
me
after it?
really most of them come really really driven.
That's good.
They come to me and they say like I'm plateauing, or maybe I'm just starting out and I'm really excited, or
Yes.
things like that. So those first initial students are always going to be a bit like, yes, there's energy there. It's the ones that are I've had for between 4 to 6 months that I'm like, that's when it starts to kind of feel a little bit more of that plateau of like, how do I inspire them? How do I get them moving a little bit more
Yeah.
forward in what we're doing? Um, don't ask me about me because I'm a terrible person when it comes to like practicing and stuff like
Really?
that.
Actually.
Look,
I need to be so much better at it, to be honest.
can I ask you a question? Right, I seen on the socials, Insta. I can't remember what it was. But obviously, the Russell Esler pad, the red one. Right,
Yes.
right. I seen you got that. I get that. Running at the same time as you. Yeah. I'm going to say something. I love that pad. Right. I really, really love the pad. However, I've also I'm never going to throw away a rubber pad. Follow me with this, right? So what I'm saying is if I'm out in the if I'm out in Drumhala, right, and I'm outside here, and I've got the red pad, right, and I'm giving it Laldi, right. So I was doing that. I was doing that like maybe last week. My neighbours kind of fell out with me, right, because I was about 20 to 9. And what I like doing is I like doing this to my family, right. I like standing in front of my television and me playing. but I'm in like kind of subconscious mode playing something, but I'm kind of watching the kind of the background TV, but I'm still playing. And I'm like, this is the silent pad, by the way. This is the quiet pad. This is the rubber one. My wife's like, you don't get a silent pad. I'm like, this is a silent pad. The noisy pad's outside. So the neighbour's like, banging on the walls. And I'm like, oh. And I looked at the time, it was like 20 to 9 or something. I went, kick the backside out of that, Andrew. You need to move. So, my point is, right, there's a kind of an array of pads that you can buy. There's a pad for every day of the week of the year, right? So, I like Jim's performer pad that I can screw on to the stand, and I like Russell's carbon fiber, plastic, whatever you might call it. I love that. And what's your kind of thoughts and feels and pads? Is it always Russell's pad that you're using?
I don't know. It's if you can play on it, just use it.
Do you know what? 100%.
No, but
the couch in the living
room. Don't
overthink
it. Like,
I mean, I tell students to play on a pillow sometimes, so it's fine. Helps strengthen your hands. No, I do like Russell's pad, and that's why I did the video for it, because I've had so many people ask me about it. Every time I use it in a video, my comments are just popping off. People are saying, well, where's that pad? How can I get it? Yeah, absolutely. So that's why I was like, I spoke to Russell at the was it the schools championship back in March, and I was like, my black pad's in terrible condition. He's like, let's do a red pad. And I was like, great, I'll order a red pad and I'll do a video for you. He's like, great.
Yeah. No, super.
But we use it at Annan as well, but it's a really nice pad because of that plastic. It's like the plastic with the foam, and it's really clear. It's really crystal clear when you're playing, and it's probably the best feel if you're trying to transition from a drum pad to a drum, especially on a competition day.
Yeah,
100%. At my solos and even at the band contest, like I'll play on that. I'll play all my sets on that first, just to kind of get my hands going, and then I'll get onto a drum eventually. I really try to minimize the amount of time I spend on my drum at a contest, because I'm like, it's just exhausting playing, to be honest. Like, it doesn't matter.
I agree, by the way. I agree,
so
but I know there's a lot of people wouldn't, but I kind of agree. I like to get everybody on their sticks and pads, and we do that thing, and we get the vibe, then go on the drums, as opposed to being cold and being on the drums, and then I don't know. I think it's a mental thing where you're trying to create, it's like trying to catch the lightning in the bottle. So if you're on the pads and sticks, you get the core vibe right on the drums, and then we sound super happy, or we feel happy. We might be sounding rotten, but we feel happy.
That's all that matters, is how you feel when you're actually playing. So if you feel good, you look good, you play good. That's what it is. So, but I do have the pink pad that I play on, the quiet pad from Drumeo. I bought that one when I was living in an apartment, and it was for exactly as you described. I had neighbors, and I was practicing. I was actually teaching online. I was teaching a school band in Saskatchewan, which, for anybody who doesn't know, that is a province in Canada. It is a real place.
Sounds great, but doesn't it? Saskatchewan.
Sounds awesome.
Where are you going? I'm going to Saskatchewan.
A wild place for sure.
Exactly. You headed to Moose Jaw or Regina. But I was actually teaching this school band, and I would start lessons at 2 a.m. And I was like, how am I going to teach at 2 a.m. in an apartment building over Zoom or over Skype?
Yeah.
And so I thought, okay, well, I can't use obviously the drum pads that I currently had. So I was like, I'll buy this really, really soft, quieter drum pad. And it actually works perfectly online as well, because as long as you've got your noise suppression off on Zoom, the sound comes across just fine. So it was the perfect thing for that. But it's a pad that it's around. And so I just grab it and I use it. Prior to that, I still have it, but I don't use it as much. And it's the Richard Boffman Perfect Practice pad. And it's kind of like the True Tone pad.
Oh, it's like the True Tone. All right, I got you. So it's quite a hard pad.
It's another one of those, like the plastic with the foam underneath it.
Yeah.
Loud as well.
Yeah. And that was kind of like, I would say it's that stepping stone from the Jim Kilpatrick pads. Like that was kind of the same technology, essentially. So I had one of those, and I've had that for, again, I think I bought it 2012. I bought it off of one of my friends. Shout out to Chris Gardner.
On your Chris.
Well done, Chris. Good on you, mate.
Because I still have it, and it came with 3 rubber inserts as well. So then you were asking about like the rubber pads and like throwing out these rubber pads. Well, that's the thing, is that obviously the rubber material does eventually break down. So
It
if you're
does.
playing on a drum
Yeah.
pad that's, 15, 20 years old, you're gonna get the flakes coming off of it. Sometimes it's just depending on the rubber, it just goes completely like flat, and it
Yeah.
just there's no rebound to it anymore. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
time. Sometimes it's time to get rid of those. Like I had an old, is it Billy Hyde drum pad?
Yes. Yes.
I
I know
started
one
on
of
one
those.
You
of
guys
Was
had
those.
it,
those?
was it, listen, was it the weird one or was it the large one? Because remember, you
The
get the
large
different
one.
side. The large one.
They just solidified, didn't they? They just turned into concrete.
And I kept it forever because I was like, it was my very first drum pad, and I was so proud to have it. And like, I'd drawn on it and stuff because I was a kid,
It
Yeah.
wasn't,
obviously.
it wasn't cheap, by the way. Well, it wasn't cheap here. That pad, it was quite dear, if I remember
I
rightly.
think I was gifted it. So,
Oh, well, thank the person that gifted you that. It wasn't cheap.
Look at you now.
oh, yeah.
I was going to say this. When we're on the subject of pads, right? I seen you also done another video, right? With your drumsticks. It was
Yes.
you were talking about different drumsticks, right? Now, see, I do watch your stuff. It's not that I'm not bluffing this, right? I do actually
Is that where the
take it in.
10,000 views are coming from?
Yeah.
No, but the thing is I think because I've caught people out that say they watch the show, right?
Ooh.
And I've went to them. Did you? And then they went. I'll be honest. I only skipped to the bits that you mentioned me, and the guy will remain nameless, right?
Oh no.
The guy will remain nameless, but that's what he said. That's what he said about my art, right? I'm doing this art, and I'm trying to share it with the world, and he went. I skipped through it to the bit that you mentioned me. I'm like,
no.
That
wow.
requires some effort as well, you know?
Listen, I'll tell you one thing. I salute his honesty. At least he
yeah.
was being honest, right? But so back to the drumsticks, right? So the drumsticks. We've noticed that people are interested in product, and this isn't a product plug, right? Because I'm not really that bothered about that. But we've noticed that people get really excited or interested when you start talking about drumsticks and you're playing a pad or whatever, and it captures people, and then they want to kind of give you some sort of feedback on it. Now, here's my question. One, are you like Jason and you keep drumsticks?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
You get sentimental with it?
I do have a few sentimental.
Yeah.
So,
Well, wait a minute.
No,
if you won something with them, right? I'm going to give you this. If you won something with them, right, and they mean something, I would understand you keeping them, right? But I just have this thing where I go, all right, they're done. They're just get them away from me. Maybe it's
Right.
because I've got a series of fails that I'm wanting to kind of distance myself from the fails.
Even
But you know
prize
what
the
I mean?
fails. The drumsticks that you came dead last with, you got to keep those. Put them
But
on the
you
wall
see-
too. Like-
but you see what I mean? So I see them as like expendables. But I know that a lot of people retain them and go, oh, I'd like to, you know. So do you retain or do you chop?
I used to keep a lot of my drumsticks, and to be honest, it was when I moved to the UK that I started having to decide what I actually wanted to take home here with me, that I had to start
Yeah.
really letting go a lot of things. So I would say probably about 20 pairs in a box at my parents'
Right.
house, along with
Right.
3 or 4 rubber pads that I was like, I'm not using any of these. So I went through them, and I kept the sentimental ones, which I actually mentioned in the video, the signed pair, I think the Reed Maxwell pair. I kept a couple sets, and then I just donated the rest because a young kids band can always just do with free pairs
Yeah.
of sticks and free drum
That's
pads.
true.
So just sending them out and saying they don't need to be perfect, they don't need to be competition or anything like that, just to get sticks into the hands of other players. Yes, I currently have a little bit of a stash off to the side of
New
all
stash.
of my drumsticks. New stash.
Yeah.
But it's tough because I think, especially right now, when you're playing in a band and we're experimenting with different sticks and trying to figure out what kind of works best with our drums at the moment.
Right.
So I'm now sitting here with like a pair of Stephen McWhirters, a pair of Stephen Crichtons, a pair of KP2s,
Yeah.
a pair. Like I've got a whole bunch of different style of stick, and
Yeah.
we're just trying to figure out what kind of works best. And it's the same for me with solos. Like I tend to get a couple of different pairs and decide what actually feels good in my hands, and that's how I tend to hoard them, for lack of a
What-
better term.
One for every occasion.
What sticks were you using when you played at the shows? The
Those
last
were
shows you
the Steve McWhirters SM1s, I think, whatever the new ones are.
I quite like his stick as well. By the way, I like it.
They're nice. They have a nice ping to them. Like there's just, I think because of the tip of the stick, like on the KP2s here, like it
pink.
tends to come to.
But is that a pink stick? I'm seeing it.
Obviously, it's
That's
pink.
good. I like that. That's good.
I did a video on that one. Did you not see that? I bought the pink.
Oh, busted. See, I've got it. I'm big
fan. But the tip of the Steve McWhirters, they come to a bit more of an actual point, and I think that it just the way that it connects with the drum, it just seems to have a bit more of a ping to it, which I find really interesting. They're not my favorite pair still. I'm really picky with my drumsticks. It takes me a while to find a pair that I really enjoy. But I've also kind of gotten over that a little bit and said, okay, that's good enough. I'll just play these. These will be the ones I practice with for 2 weeks.
It's in the hands.
Get used to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's done. That's it. They're new. That's all that matters. So yeah. But I do tend to get rid of any sticks that, like, if they don't have any sentimental value and stuff. Like, I'm not sitting here with 40 pairs of sticks. I maybe have, like, 10, which is weird because you only ever play one pair of sticks at a time. So
no, exactly. No, I get it. It's just that I know that Jason was like, a bit shocked that only like 2 pairs of sticks. So I just chuck them out.
Well, you could reuse them, like put them in your garden as like plant, support plants.
You know what? That's not a bad idea. I get that. But
my tactic is that you have a pair of sticks everywhere you are. You have some in the car, you have some in your bag, you have some in your room, you have some in the lounge room, in the kitchen.
I've got sticks at the desk at work that are they're not very good, but they're there just so I can maybe pick up. I've actually got a wee drum pad that you know the wee sleeper pad, like the railway sleeper. I've got that and I've stuck it onto my desk with like black gaffer tape.
That's all you need. It's just something to play on, right?
That's how you keep the boss getting you work from home.
Yeah. Because another goal that I have, or like a dream of mine, is to have my own stick as well. And I've had a few people ask me, like, do you make a stick? And I'm like, I'm not up there enough. I haven't won anything.
It's coming.
Here's an interesting thing.
I'll throw it out there. If anybody wants to help me make a drumstick, I'm here. I'm ready.
Listen, why should you not? Why would you not? Do you know what? See, the older I get, right? The older I get, the more I realise that 99.9% of people out there don't know what they're talking about anyway, right? So people will come back and say to you, oh, do you know what you want to do with that? Or do you know what you should do? And you go, have you done it? And they go, no. You go, well, you don't know what you're talking about, right? So that's rule number one. Rule number two is I'm a big fan of the Have a Go Hero. Just say to somebody, let's try and make this and see what happens. So I salute that. But there is a stick called the Shaw stick, isn't there?
Yeah, so I'll have to come up with something
so
else.
You're going to listen, I was going to say, right? So you're going to have to come up. Or you could call it. Right, go on, you go what we're going to say, because I think it's probably going to be better.
No, it's fine. It's the downfall to having such a common last name. Because I think of like Shaw, like digital media, for example, and like, there's always been Shaw stick. I'm like, I can go with Shaw Snare because at least that's the full thing. And people are getting more familiar with that term, Shaw Snare. I have people approach me and they're like, are you Shaw Snare? And I'm like, yes, I am. So they know that. They know that term.
Who done the wee logo for you with the wee kind of cat with its skin? Who done that? Is
My
that you or
husband.
did you?
No.
What's it?
So we
ask him what he's doing next Saturday. Me and Jason's got a lot of work for him as well.
No, he's not a graphic designer. This is the thing, is he doesn't do any. He's not creative. Well, he's creative in a different way. But we went for dinner somewhere. It must have been roughly either just around COVID or just before COVID when we started thinking about this logo. But we went for dinner. We were sitting in the pub afterwards having a pint, and we were like, and he was like, you need a logo. Because at the time, my logo was literally just words like Shaw, Snare, Instruction. It was just that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need something that is a symbol that people can really recognize, that really shows who I am as a person. And he grabbed one of the napkins and he was
No way. All the best ideas on a napkin.
So we were drawing things, we were drawing sticks, we were drawing drums. And then he stopped and he was like, you love cats though. Like you're a big cat person.
Yeah.
And he's the one that drew this like circle ears with, and then I think I put the sticks as the whiskers, and he was like, great, I'll make that.
Wow. Do you know what, honestly, it is a good logo. It does catch you, because you're right away. And the weird thing is it's a cat, so it does exactly. Do you know that way where you try to, because we actually, obviously we had a wee vote on the merch thing, and we done the classic versus, but you're a classic versus bold. Do you watch the show? Do you follow us at socials?
I was gonna say I follow your socials, and I watched the episode. It was with the three drum sergeants. I watched that one, and then I watched a couple other like snippets of other ones. But
right.
yeah.
So, but the point is it's quite a clear identifying logo, which is a great thing. I think that obviously, if moving what your project ideas, whatever they may be, I think that's obviously a great start because it's just you can instantly recognize it. Aye, good stuff.
And that's just it. Like you see it and you know it's me, and it's a soft logo as well. It kind of gives you an idea of like what you can expect from me as an instructor. It's like someone who doesn't take themselves too seriously, a little bit more on the maybe the feminine side, just from like the pastel colors that we picked, things like that.
I've got a cat. Jason knows this. He's been all right. I've got a cat, and I hate my cat, right? Because it's the most violent, aggressive, psychopathic animal I've ever known. And
oh no!
do you know what? You know how people say cats own people, right? And you know how people say that, and then, you get a wee pet and all that, and it comes up with. But really, everybody says, or science says, that they're actually psychotic. They would attack you if they could, right? So we know that kind of action, the kind of familiar action that they do, is for a reason, right?
Yeah.
So they're feigning affection, cats, right? My cat's that bad; it doesn't even feign affection. It doesn't even feign. It doesn't even.
It comes at you.
It doesn't even pretend it likes you. It's like, touch me and I'm attacking you. Just get back. Get the ball felt. Or I'm attacking.
Okay, no, so here's the thing. I know so much about cats, it's not even funny. It sounds like the cat is overstimulated. So, because that's what happens to my cat. So, quick story, because I know we have a bit of a time crunch, but the house that we're in actually came with a cat.
Oh.
So when we came to view the house, I met this lady's cat, and she was moving to like another home, and she was like, I can't take the cat with me because he's an outdoor cat. He's a bit older. They don't allow outdoor pets there. And I was like, well, we could just keep the cat and we'll look after him at the house. And that was the deal breaker. There were two people that had put offers in on this house, and she picked us because I said we would look after the cat.
Result.
This cat, and he was so lovely.
Next phone call, RSPCA.
The number of times my husband hates this cat. He's got the same mentality that you do, Andy. Like he absolutely hates this cat. But what I've realized with this cat is that he purrs all the time. He does want pet. He comes and like he kind of rubs up against you, but then he'll just switch and all of a sudden just attack you. And it's a bit jarring. But all it is that he can only take so much affection. And then all of a sudden he gets overstimulated, and then he gets not necessarily aggressive, but does get that like,
that sudden lash out.
Yeah,
I can't do it.
On the subject of cats, this cat has got to go to Edinburgh. So, Elizabeth, thanks very much for coming on the show. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
I've no doubt that we'll manage to get a chat with you. Either at the competitions, because hopefully I'll see you there, or at a solos nearby very soon, I would imagine.
And we're absolutely rooting for you all the way for you to get that top spot.
Yeah.
Stakes, everything.
We're on your team. But listen, I'm going to be honest, right? We always say that to everybody, right? We're on Dan Brown's team, we're on Cam Lawson's team, we're on Kermit Collins' team, we're on Craig Laurie's team. Do you know what I mean? For people like that, usually a bunch. Pick a guy or a girl. Pick somebody that you're going to follow.
That was before Elizabeth.
I was going to say.
I know, that's right. That was before she came on and won us. Yeah, go Liz. Right. Thanks very much for coming on, Elizabeth. Thank you.
Yeah, this is so great. Thank you so much. Good chatting with you guys.
Cheers.
Bye-bye. Cheers. Bye.